Recognising is equality, taking into consideration which are just completely disregarded. What policies are completely disregarding. For example, and people are being physically removed, worrying about the property development, the county trust, and moved to the other side of town. Respecting mental health and looking at physical health, Cassie's right, despite all the inequalities and the human rights declaration today. It says that government should take all actions and understand to prevent the fear and the dispossession that comes about, and any for Indigenous Australians relocation through Cassie's narrative. Through the wording, what choice you got, huh? The council fellas and property developers don't care about what you want. We can see power struggle, which has gone on for a long time. We can see social justice issues and further inequalities in things like the removal of the safe house and community centre. There's a bigger picture to that. Within that community centre is where people like Cassie and her friends do schoolwork, access the computer, or furthermore, the family, the aunts, the unks. It's where they do their job applications. But nah, the council don't care about that, do they? So it's about looking at this. What further inequalities are these policies creating? But further so, how is this linked into the past colonisation of Australia? How is this reigniting the power struggles, the fears, the lack of trust? How is it re-representing the taking over of the country and the land? You can see the fear that would come about through the removal of the aunts and uncles having to go live somewhere else. The forced removal of people from their land. It's pretty similar to what occurred, and yet it's still happening today, despite the fact that each individual in the world has a choice to choose where they live, choose what they want to do in life, where they want to work, how they want to learn. Taking away and reducing the opportunities for the Indigenous Australians to grow economically, emotionally and socially is what then leads to further disadvantages. Taking away the computers that they do the job applications on is going to further lead to the high unemployment rates. It's going to lead to the early dropouts of school. Education is the key, and yet we're not addressing the inequalities in education. So it's these issues that are going to be adding to Cassie's feelings of hopelessness, untrust, powerlessness, and we need to take all of this into consideration, the bigger picture. Within Cassie's short narrative, we can see the transgenerational trauma that is affecting Cassie, but also the people around her. She says it goes back to them that was stolen too. Still, the old aunts and uncles cry about that. We can clearly see that the stolen generation still lives on today and affects everyone around. She said, that's why this moving gets me so upset. It reminds the ones who lived on the Mish how it happened. So we've got to look at the bigger picture of what policies are continuing today that are reenacting the stolen generation, colonisation, assimilation, forced removal, but just in different forms, and how that might affect the Indigenous Australians today. She said, thought they were dead or something. Sometimes they got told that. It's about acknowledging the fact that issues like this is what affects Indigenous Australians' ability to trust. Why would Cassie want to trust everyone when she knows that prior to this, her family, her aunts and uncles, her, have been lied to at times? So you need to take into consideration, what steps can you take to build that trust with Cassie? Prior to working with Cassie, it is important that self-reflection takes place, assessing one's own beliefs, values and attitudes. In particular, as an Indigenous Australian myself, it is important that I am respecting and appreciating the uniqueness of Indigenous culture throughout all of my interactions with Cassie. Although I am Indigenous myself, my experience is very different from that of Cassie's, and therefore I need to make sure that I'm not imposing any of my beliefs and attitudes about my experiences onto hers. I need to identify and acknowledge the weaknesses that might come about by being an Indigenous Australian. What guilt might come up? Guilt around my own lack of connectedness from the land and traditional culture. My guilt around the fact that I'm actually have been quite privileged and shielded from experiencing a lot of the inequalities that many Indigenous Australians have had to experience. I need to be prepared for the fact that my own trauma and loss may be reignited, and that I need to prepare for the support that I might need to put in place whilst working with Cassie and looking after my own mental health and well-being. I need to reflect on my own core skills. What am I bringing to this table? What am I lacking in? What do I need to improve on? Am I a quite open person, or do I need to work on being more open? Am I someone that Cassie's going to feel comfortable with? Or what steps can I take about myself to make Cassie feel more comfortable? Things like considering the way I present myself in my own personal appearance, assuring that it reflects a respectful manner and an informal, comfortable manner that Cassie's going to feel comfortable about. Making sure that it's an approach that's not me powering over Cassie. I need to be prepared for the fact that my own trauma and loss may be reignited, and that I need to prepare for the support that I might need to put in place whilst working with Cassie and looking after my own mental health and well-being. I need to reflect on my own core skills. What am I bringing to this table? What am I lacking in? What do I need to improve on? Am I a quite open person, or do I need to work on being more open? Am I someone that Cassie's going to feel comfortable with? Or what steps can I take about myself to make Cassie feel more comfortable? Things like considering the way I present myself in my own personal appearance, assuring that it reflects a respectful manner and an informal, comfortable manner that Cassie's going to feel comfortable about. Making sure that it's an approach that's not me powering over Cassie.